What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. How's everybody doing out there today? Let's get into the starting lineups. First for the Dallas Stars, they're 27-14-1. It's Roope, Hintz, Jason Robertson, Evgenii, Dadonov, Miro Heiskanen, Ilya Lyubushkin, Matt Duchene, Benn, Wyatt, Johnston, Leslie Lindell, Niels Lundqvist, Maverick Bork, Sam Steele, Logan Stankoven, Oscar Bach, Matej Bummel, Colin Blackwell, Thomas Harley, Matt Demba, Jake Ottinger will be in the goal crease. And for the Leafs, another really good record as well, 27-15-2. Head coached by Greg Berube, Austin Matthews, Stephen Lorentz, Mitch Marner, Morgan Riley, Philip Myers, John Tavares, Matthew Nyes, Willie Nylander, OEL, and Christopher Tanev, Max Domi, Bobby McMahon, Nick Robertson, David Camp, Connor Dewar, Ryan Reeves with Simon Benoit and Connor Timmins. Joseph Woll will be the goaltender of record today. Again, I have the TSN feed. We can flip it between Victory and the Dallas Stars. This is the second of two meetings in the opposite conferences. This should be a good one, and we'll get underway, get some reps in this week, as I do not have any Sharks assignments for a while. So we'll be back to the regular standings, as this one's flipped up in the air a couple times by Dallas on the backhand. And I have to try to start this one again with Matt Duchene. Morgan Riley able to keep it in. Here comes the bomb. Big save, Ottinger with the right pad. Dallas try to take the long flip. So both teams coming off a couple of losses. Dallas just lost their last game rather convincingly to the Ottawa Senators, a little 6-2. Back-to-back losses here for the Leafs. Leafs have not lost 3 games in a row, I think, in a calendar span of about 2 years. So that usually doesn't happen that way. Stephen Lorentz, the former Florida Panther, will send this one back in here for Niels Lundqvist. Lundqvist will watch this going to the right side as Lindell. Matthews with a little reverse hit, a little how do you do there, as this one gets sent back down to the right side blue line. It'll be deflected a couple times, pop back up in the air right to the Leafs, as they can try to go right to left. So we're at Scotiabank right now, where Toronto plays. I'm going to chance to see what they're going to do for the first time, I believe, this year. I'll be covering the Leafs, as this one gets sent in by OEL. Nick Robertson will watch. Again, he's playing against his brother Jason. And Nick Robertson, I believe, has won every single game in the mix of his brother right now. So that's usually where it goes with the Leafs, but I do like to watch this matchup. Again, some of these ones I covered alongside Cooper Hopkins and mixed with Alec Nava. A lot of these ones have gone to OT or been 1-goal games. There's Robertson now. Bobby McMahon will try to get chasing off the rush. Dumba able to get it out. It bounces off of Sam Steele, Maverick Bork. Steele try to flip it over the boards, and this will go back on for Thomas Harley. Have to take the long way around as the Leafs forecheck with Greg Berube. He's going to be happy about it right now. Force the steal right in the middle of the slot. And now Maverick Bork will try to get this pass across. He just wants to take a change alongside Blackwell, and Morgan Riley will dump it into the zone. Pinball's now between the left side of the mesh, as this will be a reverse hit for Miro Heiskanen off the pin against the board to David Camp. Connor Dewar, Ryan Reeves, all trying to locate the vulcanized rubber. Dallas will emerge with it again. They got the victory green tops with the white shirt and the black pants. Another good hit there for Toronto. Physicality's been good right now as Oscar Bach tries to find it. And this will go back now near the left side red line. Dallas try to find the entry here with Morgan Riley. And this will pinball right to the Leafs again for the moment and flipped in by Dallas. Toronto's going to have to recollect here with Morgan Riley. It was a minus 14 on the season. The plus-minus has not been very good. He's usually an offensive defenseman. Starting to get a little bit long in the tooth on both sides. Not a lot of shots on goal to tell you about here. 16:50. Expired through the first. It's just one shot on goal for Toronto. Bounced away from Tavares and Willie Nylander. Off to the races across the left wing. He'll stay on his feet, but he gets pinned against the boards. His Camp tries to find it, throws right back out to Tavares. And this will be deflected across the red line, center ice. And the captain, and Jimmy Benn, will send this across for Chris Tanev, the former Calgary Flame. Bounce a couple times away from OEA. And also a Dallas Star for Chris Tanev. That was only at the deadline when he went to Calgary at that point. Now he's full-time in Toronto, and they need his defense. He's been very good. And toward the right side, Jimmy Benn has 395 goals in 1,154 NHL games. Thank you to TSN for that. Marner now Lorenz. Lorenz with his shot will just go to the right side red line in off the right side wall. And Austin Matthews gets stick lifted away from the puck. Miro Heiskanen now. This will be intercepted. The Maple Leafs get to it. Matthews, he snipes it short side. What a shot for Matthews. I guess I should not be surprised. Jake Ottinger looked like he had that whole thing covered. I guess he didn't. And on the second shot, Toronto makes it 1-0. So Austin Matthews has 11 goals in 13 career games against Dallas. Mitch Marner is going to get the primary. Austin Matthews, that was a hell of a snipe. There was not a lot of room for that whatsoever on the second shot. Toronto makes this a 1-0 game. He already had a reverse hit. Dallas is 10-8 when the opponent scores first, so they still have a winning record. But Toronto, 17 wins, just 3 losses when they score first. 1 OT loss, which picks them up a point. Bobby McMahon, as this one gets knocked away. Sent back in by Max Domi. Again, Max Domi, also a former Dallas Star. So a lot of these Toronto Maple Leafs in between Dallas, they know each other well. Domi, that could be a trip. And that is not a very good start for the Dallas Stars on the road here, as Toronto's already scored one. Dallas is going to go to the box. So I'll pull back up Sam Steele. Going to get busted for a trip. I'll pull back up my ESPN box to try to get anything squared away. I saw San Jose has scored the first goal of the game against Detroit. I thought about covering that one for the 8-game streak, but I will say this, even though San Jose has been losing some games of late, that could be quantified as a trap game. We'll cover the Red Wings on Thursday when they go to the House of Horrors at Emirates Bank in Florida. That's usually where they don't win. But that's what you want to see what they're made of. So John Tavares, as the Leafs are on the power play, this will be Mitchell Marner. Back to Johnny T. Now Marner. Slap pass, and this was a good one-time setup for Willie Nylander. Lyubushkin tried to get it out. That was near the left dot. Now Mitchell has the puck. Series of stutter steps toward the right side blue line. Willie Nylander. Back pass. Tavares. This one bounced off the bar for Nylander off the second effort. Toronto's humming right now as this is settled back now for Tavares. Now to the right side boards, Matthews used that big body off the spin. It's pretty nice to see on the Four Nations for Team USA. Off the post again and out. This is the second time it's already happened for Toronto. This could be a 3-0 game, but it's 1-0 with 14:15 left to go in the first. My goodness. Oliver Ekman-Larsson now will pivot off the reverse. Start this one again. Toronto has looked exceptional here early. Wide open pass. Nick Robertson tried to set up the 1-2 for Domi right in front of the slot. That one missed. Nick now with it. We'll send this one back to D. It's Morgan Riley. High slot gets it back toward the left side. A little bit too far. We'll send it toward the blue paint. Now to the right side dot. Domi bounces off his skate blade. Settle it down for Riley. Left side dot. Post again. 3 posts for the Leafs. And it's 13:35 left in the first 2 on the power play alone. Domi toward the right side as this one sent back in. This is absolutely unreal. Sent back for Lawrence. This one will bounce off a Toronto stick. So even if they don't score here, you have to quantify this power play as a 10. And once Dallas gets something converted, Jamie Benn will watch this one bounce toward him. So only 1 shot on the period technically for the power play to make that 2, because 3 of them hit post. So Riley, as the Leafs will change, get a chance to start this one again. Dallas is going to be thanking their lucky stars, and yes, pun intended here, with 12:55 left to go in the first. As this is toward the right side dot, this will be turned over, and Hintz will have to find it and try to bounce it. It goes to Benoit, out of Matthews. Marner, good reach, one-handed. Try to set it back up now for number 34, and this will be picked off by Evgenii Dadonov. We'll see if Dallas can get anything going here. This has been a miserable start to this game, and they're fortunate to only be down 1. It could be 4. As this one now sent across the other way. If this is Evgenii, I want to get him in and ask what the heck's been going on with his account. As it's 12:21 left to go in the first. We will take a break. Austin Matthews with a short side snipe, but this could be a lot worse so far. We'll check back in. 12:21 left in the first. Hello, my friend.
Hello, John.
So did your account get hacked?
Yes, it did.
Oh, man.
Yep. So I'm using this backup account as my main account now.
Okay. I'm going to make sure I follow you across the board. Just wanted to double check, make sure everything else was good here. Hopefully you didn't lose too much, but it's just good to hear your voice.
Yes, sir. So, John,
Mm-hmm.
you are now going to answer the question that I have been wondering for a while.
Sure.
What has changed with the Red Wings?
We can go with the obvious first, correct? I do think you get a coach bump with Todd McClellan. I think you and I were in agreement. I thought you said it best when we last talked a couple weeks ago, that Todd McClellan is a guy that can get everything with the gears and the structure and everything else in order, which is correct. But I also think you and I are saying this. How much of that speaks to how bad it was for Derek Lalonde, and how much of that speaks against Yzerman, and also finally, how much of that speaks against the players? Did they quit on Derek Lalonde? Was the message not coming through? Because was the bump supposed to be this big?
I'm not sure, but you know what? Detroit plays tonight, right?
They're playing against San Jose. I saw that they were losing early, but that could be quantified as a trap game if I'm being kind.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that, but really, I got to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All I know is the record. I have not watched your guys play. Record-wise and winning streak-wise, it looks like the 2019 St. Louis Blues when they had a coaching change and then they went on, that 13 or 14 game win streak.
Yeah.
That put them back in wild card contention. So maybe it is. So coaching's the obvious bit. But what else do you think has changed with the players? Because with a 7-game winning streak, the quality of play also has to have a noticeable change to it. Has anything improved?
Yeah, there has been a significant bump in the sense of, as the shot gets saved a couple times, Walden, and they pound it in, so Dallas ties it up here. We get back into that. That's the fourth line, but we mix it in alongside Dylan Larkin, Alex DeBrincat, and Patrick Kane, guys that you need to be able to push ahead and drive your offense. Those guys have seemingly been unlocked again, and Detroit is looking a little bit like the team they were last year when they were scoring a ton of goals, and their power play over the last stretch is about 65 to 70% over the last 5 or 6 games. So they've been on fire scoring.
What was it beforehand? Do you have that data?
They were kind of struggling at the point of probably 23rd overall out of 32 teams. So it's been a significant bump. I'm going to cover the Red Wings on Thursday. I'm expecting a loss against the Panthers. The Panthers have been struggling lately, but anytime they go to Amerant Bank in Florida, that's kind of been a house of horrors. So we'll kind of march in and look and see what the Red Wings will look like, because they'll have Florida, Tampa, and Dallas to end the weekend.
Right. Well, one thing I've noticed just by looking at the game center, now it is San Jose, but I see shot on goal, shot on goal, shot on goal, shot on goal by at least 3 different players on the Red Wings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's going to be a lot. Again, they've not been outshot, I think, in any of the games except one. Again, they lost Todd McClellan's first game. Now they're trying to go for an 8-game win streak. They would be 8-1. Logan Stankoven has scored for Dallas to make this a 1-1 game as this goes back around for Ottinger. But yeah, they've looked much better. They've got themselves back into the playoff race, again by a couple of points. And if it hasn't been for the Montreal Canadiens looking so good lately and a couple of these other teams, Detroit might have made even a little bit more of a push. But again, and between Montreal and Columbus, who's also been very good, the East has had a lot of parity. There's been teams that are hanging around and trying to fight for playoff spots.
So, with the I'm probably cutting into the actual game right now.
No worries. Icing was just called here against the Maple Leafs. Again, it's a 1-1 game. You got Logan Stankoven in the mix of Austin Matthews, who sniped a ridiculous short side shot. Again, if you're just joining us, the Maple Leafs probably should be up by 3 or 4-1. They had 2 posts on their own power play and then a post before they just got there as well. So they only have technically 4 shots to 4 on goal. Posts don't count as shots on goal. So Dallas has been pretty close to trying to fight their way back through it. Joseph Wall scrambled at the net again, and this one knocked away by Matt Duchene. I'll jump in with Ian again once we get another stoppage as this one gets knocked away. Picked up here by the Leafs. They'll send this one in for Mitchell Marner. Now for Heiskanen. Watch this go in around the end boards. It's going to be so interesting to see, Ian. We are just less than a month away from the Four Nations face-off, and Austin Matthews is going to be part of Team USA, so it's always nice to get that extra firepower as this one gets flipped back in from OEL. This will be settled back down now by Ottinger, right in between the legs. Matthews tries to locate. This will go back to Marner. He'll take his change as the defense will get going again. OEL now toward the right side. Steven Lorentz will take a long shot right in the glove hand of Jake. Will hold on right at 9 minutes. So we'll take a break.
So, with the Red Wings' resurgence, assuming they climb back comfortably into a wild card position, or they stay close enough to where one more positive surge could put them in contention, the question I have is, what will be the moves of the trade deadline?
That is the ultimate question there. What does Steve Yzerman want to do? I believe they still have in about $6.5 million in cap space. And I know a lot's been said, and I won't go into too much detail here, but between Petrie and Sherrod, I know Petrie's hurt, but some of those moves didn't make much sense. I didn't like them, to be honest with you. Kopp and Comfer, I'm okay with, but my point is they're all staggering deals. So this team is not going to be in cap hell. If they want to add, try to find some extra defense, or maybe a score at the deadline, they can do so if they want to try to go for this thing. But with Chris Ilitch, who's also the owner of the Tigers as well, it's not Mike Ilitch, it's his son. He's kind of the cheapo that we talked about. My guess is he's got the control of the payroll, and the Red Wings won't add even though they can, is my guess.
Yep, sounds about right for Chris Ilitch.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. But I will say, in between the situations, as we said, between Petrie, Trot, Kopp, Coffer, and all that, it's all staggered. So when they need to pivot, they can. When the guys get older, there'll be a lot of money. They'll be able to lock in people like Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider and push that way in a second effort. So I think the Wings are in a good spot. Thank God they got Tom McClellan, got things back on track. Honestly, Ian, in between the 4 pro sports here for Detroit, Dan Campbell, Tom McClellan, AJ Hinch, and JB Bickerstaff, I can't be any more pleased.
I was going to say, I mean, it's not just hockey. The Pistons seem to be playing inspiring basketball right now.
Yeah, they've won both of their games that they've had matched up against the Knicks. Now they're a couple games above 500. They just beat the Raptors. I know that they're supposed to, but they're beating teams maybe they shouldn't. Cade Cunningham is going to be an all-star, which is exciting. And, it was kind of silly a couple of years ago, and I'll jump back into the play-by-play, but it was kind of silly a couple of years ago when the Pistons fans kept saying, boy, oh boy, they missed out. They should have taken Jalen Green. I'm not saying Jalen Green's not a great player, because he is, but I think they got the Cade Cunningham thing right. You just got to get some talent around him. So a shot gets saved by Joseph Wall. Again, the Leafs coming off of a 2-game losing streak. They haven't had a 3-game losing streak in about a matter of 2.5 years. As Nils Lundqvist throws that one right on. And coming back in from the Christmas break was the first time we looked at Minnesota and Dallas. And Mason Marchment took a puck to the face during that time. Right back in from the Christmas break. He's still not back, alongside Tyler Seguin, who's still in injured reserve, as David Kempf will win this one back down the ice. Again, this is the second and final meeting between the two teams in opposite conferences, as it sits to a 7-5 shot board. Sam Steele will now lurk, as this is near the right side. This will be flipped to the left side red line here for Toronto, as the players come together now. DeBoer try to pry it loose alongside Maverick Bork. So you got a couple of the bottom 6 lines out there right now. It's Ryan Reeves will push this one around the end boards. Reeves will send this one back to Riley. Riley with a shot intentionally wide. And this will be start again here. Dumba will try to get this one out. 7:50 left to go in the first. It's Sam Steele. Wrister fought off by Wall. There was a big rebound near the right side dot. And this will be settled back down for Max Domi, also the former star. Sends this one in. Now on his backhand, he gets around a couple hits, wins a puck battle, gets knocked down in front of the referees, but no call. 8 shots on goal to 5, as Logan Stankoven had just tied it up and matched with Austin Matthews, as this will be chipped off the glass to Christopher Tanev. Tanev now. We'll send this one here for Benoit, now to Max Domi. And as Nick Robertson will turn around and spin. Recollected here for Dallas. Near the right side wall. Tanev gets his shot blocked. This will go back to the Leafs now as Domi was in between a couple of skate blades. Stankoven now with the long flip. This will be recollected here for Dallas. Here's Jason Robertson. This will go off the stick shots of Joseph Wall and bounce off the referee. It'll stay in play, but the pass goes wanting all the way back in Dallas's end. Jake Ottinger will stop it in between the circles. Nils Lundqvist, the outstretched pass, but this will be picked off by the Leafs. They'll start this again. Good pinball here. Mitch Marner try to play it back for Matthews a little bit too far, and Dallas gain the entry now off the long flip. Here's a shot by Jamie Benn. Be close 5-hole by Wall. So Stankoven with his 5th, and Steele has his 12th assist from Duchene, and Matthews from Marner. That at 4:15, 8:33 for the first goal for Dallas. Joseph Wall 9 of 10 so far. Jake Ottinger just 4 of 5. Dallas, their last 10 games, they're 8-1-1. Again, coming off a loss from Ottawa. Their power play has been a little underwhelming at 18.5, but their penalty kill is pretty good at over 86%. As Logan Stankoven going to go ahead and try to take this draw. You got Duchene with him on the opposite wing. Usually you kind of take that the other way around. I would expect Matt Duchene to take draws, but it's good for a young centerman to get some practice. Austin Matthews right up the gut. He gets knocked away by Miro Heiskanen. Austin Matthews finishes off his check again. This is the 3rd time he's done that. He's already got 3 hits in this game, and the first one was a booming reverse. As Benn try to get this one off the glass, Marner will make a play. He gets bowled over by Jamie Benn right at center ice. Dallas will take a long flip right to Wall. We'll hold on with the glove hand. We'll take another break. 5:58 left to go here. When Ian does come back, I do want to ask him a football question, only for the score and everything else that I saw yesterday, but I do got to get his thoughts because, again, all those guys know a lot more than I do. I just want to know what the heck happened.
What the heck? In which game?
What happened to the Minnesota Vikings the last 2 weeks?
Well, the most obvious answer is that Sam Darnold returned he regressed to the mean. To the mean, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
He just went pumpkin. He went pumpkin mode, and I don't quite understand it myself. So Sam Darnold continued to malfunction. The Minnesota offensive line completely fell apart. Kevin O'Connell got out-coached, and both teams just solved the Justin Jefferson question. How do you stop? Simply put, they double-teamed them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And forced Sam Darnold to throw it to the other people. He couldn't do it. And the Rams themselves, the only reason they're not looked at as one of the more dangerous teams in the playoffs is because of how they started, which was rough.
Sure, I agree with you.
But Stafford is still that gunslinger. They have a very young defensive unit, full of guys who got passed up in the first round, except for Jared Verse, by every other team, and they took advantage of that. They have built a squad. I mean, you can't replace Aaron Donald, but boy, oh boy, did they recreate him in the aggregate.
That's kind of crazy, Ian. And again, it really tells you how good the coaching staff and everyone else is, because you make that trade alongside the Lions. Again, you swap the quarterbacks and you get everything going there. And it was expected that the Rams might have a little bit of a rebuild, but that certainly didn't seem to take long.
For overnight, I've never seen it. So. Hey, John, sorry, I got to do something real quick.
You're good. So we got 5 minutes left to go here, and the first is a chance for Dallas. Maybe about 30 seconds ago, might have bounced off the outside of the bar. I'll check in with Ian here when he'll jump back in, as this will be picked up by Steele, and Dumba will send this one across. So appreciate Ian joining for the interim. I'll take it through this play-by-play. Should have a busy week here, as this will be bounced into the right side. Duchene off the deflection. Joseph Wall able to stand tall near the left post, as Dumba able to recollect dummy, trying to locate Connor Timmons, bounced off his back skate. 4:25 left to go. Brutal turnover pass, and Joseph Wall bails his team out. I was trying to set there for Maverick Bork, and now Duchene's back pass doesn't hit anybody, as this will go back and around the end boards now, and we will get a whistle, be an offside against the Stars. 4:13 left in the first. I'll have to take a look and see how this turnover was recreated, but not a very good one, as Connor Timmons will play this near the wall. This bounced away from Nick Robertson and toward the left side post. Wall makes the save, and then again it bounced off his left arm as Oscar Bach was waiting and working near the right post. Maverick Bork off the back feed to Ilya Labushkin. Miro Heiskanen will flip it in. David Camp try to give chase here. And toward the right side red line, this will be centered out in front and between a mesh of blades and skates. And Maverick Bork can't find it. Camp able to push a little bit ahead, and it'll be iced. Ryan Reeves can't get there first. Shots on goal are now 12-6. Could have been a lot more for Toronto after their terrific start. Dallas, since they got that goal from Logan Stankoven, are really starting to turn the gears the other way and turning this into a matchup that we thought maybe going in. Ryan Reeves, 86 hits, 23 PIMs in 27 games. We know what he is about, grit and sandpaper. That is what you want to see, as he tries to get off an inside out to Ilya Labushkin, but no way he can beat the races there from Miro Heiskanen. But still, given an effort, and that's what you want to see. Craig Berube, I think, has essentially been a godsend for this team, because you have Sheldon Keefe, probably wasn't a bad coach. He's doing a decent job in New Jersey with the load of talent that they have. Maybe they expected a little bit more even. But you need to be able to bring in a sense of identity and start over with this core four. Slapper, good save, Ottinger. The right post was wide open off the rebound, and this gets flipped back down by Dallas. Morgan Riley now. Try to get this one ahead as this will be sticked in. Jake Ottinger, this is a slow carom off the boards, and this back pass as the D was still in the middle of a change. This will dodge a bullet here for Dallas. Miro Heiskanen now will work, and off the backhand as Stankoven knocks down his man, and this will go back to Sam Steele. Senator for Ilya Lyubushkin. This will bounce off Toronto. No icing. Joseph Woll slows it down for Christopher Tanev near the right side boards. Recollecting off the right. It's Matthew Nyes. Matthew Nyes, a little hit, and we'll see who gets to it now. It's OEL, former Panther. OEL will slow it down. I think that was a really good pickup there for Toronto as well. Smart on that back end defense. Try to get some semblance and actual defensive work. Good defensive play by Lindell. But here is Willie Nylander. Now to the right side boards. Try to find Johnny T. Matthew Nyes. This one get knocked away for a moment. Nyes still trying to work with it. 2:29. Let's see if we get a penalty here. I think Nyes might have got hit in the face. We'll see if we get a power play for the Leafs or against the Leafs. Looks like John Tavares going to go to the box. Matthew Nyes got hit in the face. Did he get hit in the face by his own teammate? Is the question. So a cross check by Nyes and toward the right side. That looked like to be an easy call. I want to see what Tavares did because there's other cross check from Nyes, but I'm not seeing anything else on the TSN feed to say that Tavares should be in the box. I'm not saying he shouldn't be, but I saw the one by Nyes and not by Tavares. So Dallas power play been a little rough lately as we profiled. 12 shots to 7, 16.8, 28th out of 32 teams. And for this type of unit, they should be so much better. The Toronto penalty kill at 83.6 is third in the league. No power play goals in the last 16 penalty kills. And that goes a long way in the mix of OEL and Chris Tanev, correct? I mean, those are the guys that you expect to kind of lock things down. Good pickups. Jason Robertson, completely fans on it. David Camp, got Marner with them. 2-on-1, flip pass off the sauce goes wide. Camp couldn't get a hold of it. He'll pick it up now, though. David will essentially kill some time, which is good for the Leafs nonetheless. As Wyatt Johnston. This one pinned against the boards, and that Duchene try to start it in his own end now from left to right. Very slow breakout here for Dallas on their power play. Miro Heiskanen will drive it back as Wyatt Johnston will be coordinated with the puck entry. Now to the right side boards, Tanev, it knocks away from him. And thought about the fake slap shot. Marner now will take it. Send it down about 170 feet right to Jake. Heiskanen, see what he wants to do here. He'll do it again. Drop it right for, this time, Logan Stankoven. Now, in the mix of Maverick Bork, I don't really like the entries here for Dallas. It's a little too predictable, and that's kind of telling you why the power play is where it is. 23.4 on the road, which is 11th, so they've been awful at home. Much better on the road. Harley now will send it back. Stankoven. Now to the right side for Harley, find the entry in the boards, and again, they're just not connecting these passes as this goes all the way back down. Dallas's record is good. Even strength play is good, but if their power play gets corrected at all, and maybe that's where the Four Nations break would definitely help them as far as the rest of the unit that doesn't go, this would just be a much better team, even from what they already are. No shots, and everything has just been easily cleared down the ice. So 35 seconds left to go in the first. See if Dallas can even find an entry to get a shot. Now to the right side, drop from Dumba, cleared around the boards. Wall will stop it with the stick. I don't believe that's going to count as a shot at all. So that was just awful. This will be picked up now for Tanev and Timmins. And toward the right side for Tavares, who's out of the box. We'll spin and stay with the puck now and take a long flip. Looks like Toronto's content to have this be a 1-1 game after one. This is toward the left side red line. Riley, long shot deflected, and there was right there for Matthew Nyes. He couldn't find it, and that's how we will enter the first. Toronto had 8 shots on goal. Looked like they could have had more if not for 4 posts. Dallas, fortunate probably to tie it up at 1. It was a much better end to their even strength, but the power play was just terrible. It's 1-1 after 20 minutes. Come right back. We'll call more.
Matthews for the lead, staying going for Dallas. 1-1 to score after 20 minutes. Time for our first intermission. Duchene in the pack. It's Cruise Weekend out of America. This weekend, we book your next vacation for just $25 off. With us, we guarantee you'll see Alaska glaciers on every Alaska cruise. Explore over 175 UNESCO World Heritage Sites across Europe, or relax away on our private island, Half Moon Cay. Plus, enjoy free balcony upgrades, free kids fairs, and up to $400 in onboard credit. But don't wait, this exclusive offer ends January 20th. Book today. It's halftime. Time to open the fridge.
I'm not sure I'm actually into this.
The cabinets in the pantry.
Can you got storage for snacks or expired stuff?
Show how much space you have in your kitchen. Selling your home with Open Door is so easy. You can do it during halftime. Keep an eye on this one.
Oh yeah, it's not like I'm selling the house or anything.
Get started at opendoor.com.
We love our new home. There's so much space,
We have a guest room now.
but we have hands.
So I'm just resetting here for the what to know. So on the second shot, Austin Matthews, tight angle, short side, and snipe. That was crazy at 15:45. Stankoven scored at the net after a couple of chances against Wall. Shots on goal, 12-8. Leafs power play at 3 posts. Marner, Nylander, and Tavares. That was ridiculous stuff. Dallas had a better end to that period, but the power play with the hook against Tavares was just terrible. No shots on goal. No shots on goal in the man advantage, and couldn't find entry. Let's look at the numbers of the period. Hits, Toronto, 11-4. Face-offs even at 7. So face-offs tied at 7, hits 11 for Toronto. Shots on goal 12-8 for the Stars.
Curious about what you might find? With billions of records, photos, and more, you're bound to find some gems.
So the Red Wings down 2-0 to the Sharks. It looks like the 8-game win streak might be in jeopardy. I was thinking of that this game might be that way. Jan Rutta and Nico Sturm shorthanded, as Ville Husso just 3 out of 5. You might be wondering if they're going to play Cam Talbot, but Alex Gergiev, former Colorado Avalanche, 12-12. So if they can beat Gergiev, then there you go. But Red Wings might lose that one. I'm going to cover them on Thursday against the Florida Panthers, who have been struggling of late. We will see if that continues. Bruins up 2-0 on the Lightning. I'll give you those standings here in a second. Parker Wotherspoon and Trent Frederick. Swayman 9-9. Big Cat 4-6. Our game is Stars and Leafs 1-1. Logan Stankoven and Austin Matthews with the goals. Kraken and Pens, that one also tied at 1 at the end of the first. It's Chandler Stevenson shorthanded from McCann and Accord, and then Philip Tomasino from Drew O'Connor and Chris Letang. Tristan Jarry just 1 of 2 only faced 2 shots of 500 goals against. Joey DeCord was worked 15 out of 16, but the Kraken have a 1-1 tie. Maybe fortunate. 2 shots on goal. They did not look good against the Red Wings the other day either, so that is a yikes. Capitals 2-0 over the Ducks, struggling of late. Brendan Dumaine and John Carlson. Logan Thompson 9 of 9. John Gibson 10 of 12. Panthers Devils are scoreless. The Flyers and Jackets tied at 1. Bobby Brink for Philadelphia from Sealer and Jamie Drysdale. Zach Werenski again. Again, I know we have no All-Star break, but Four Nations, he's the guy that's been hot. Werenski's been ridiculous. Blue Jackets in a playoff spot right now, 20-17-6. Again, all you got to say is Cutter Gauthier wanted to play for this team, and that ignites the Philadelphia Flyers, apparently, but we'll see how that works. Fedotov, 7 of 8, and Tarasov is 7 of 8 as well for the respective netliners. So the 7:30 games, Panthers, Devils, Sens, Islanders. I guess we can take a little look at the Cats and the Devils because that's what I'll be looking at next. Golden Knights, Preds at 8. Flames, Blues at 8. I will be looking at the Flames, Blues. You can bet once we get to the next intermission. I will be covering the Calgary Flames. I might try to get to it next week, as much as I say that I won't, because I am waiting until February 1st alongside Cooper Hopkins. I will remind him. Again, that's when the Sharks will be at Clark Park, but they play a late game on a Hockey Night in Canada, I believe. We're going to have coverage of that anyway, nonetheless, about 10 Eastern, so 7 o'clock for Cooper there, if you can get in on it. But I know I will be covering that one, and then after that, before Four Nations, we'll have a couple more Flames games. So we will get into the Flames. It might start early February. It could be next week. Let me look at their schedule nonetheless. It's been a while since we looked at Calgary, who's in a playoff spot right now. So back-to-back against St. Louis. This is a home and home for St. Louis, and then Winnipeg, and then they're off to Thursday against Buffalo. And then Winnipeg again on that Sunday, the 26th. So I think it's going to be a little bit before we end up covering the Flames, because I don't want to break in through the schedule as far as what I do have. I want to cover the Wings and the Panthers Thursday to get Ian back in here. But probably February 1st for Cooper Hopkins and I between Detroit and the Flames. And then after that, play Seattle, Toronto will be jumping back in again a little consistently in February.
Show how much space you have in your kitchen. Selling your home to Open Door is so easy. You can do it during halftime.
Oh, yeah. It's not like I'm selling the house or anything.
Get started at opendoor.com.
All right. I may need to hop off one more time.
What's all right?
Yeah, I may need to hop off one more time throughout the course of the night, but I will definitely be trying to join you as much as I can.
Well, I appreciate that. We look at the wild card stuff right now, and it's the Boston Bruins and Columbus Blue Jackets having the 2 spots in the East. Again, Ian and I were talking about it a little bit before he had to leave the first time, in the sense of Ottawa and Detroit. Montreal's right there, Pittsburgh as well, all within 2 points of a playoff spot. The Rangers starting to pick back up again after that awful run they had. So really nobody out just yet, maybe with the exception of the Sabres, as the East wild card is still up for grabs here with half the season essentially expired. And in the West, I'm not sure what to make of the Vancouver Canucks right now, as the Flames pulled into that second spot. St. Louis is not that far behind, Ian, but I think Vancouver really needs to figure out what type of team they are. And there's been a lot of rumors as far as JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, Maybe one stays, one goes. I don't know how they couldn't make that work, but maybe that's what's going to happen.
Well, considering the Vancouver Canucks did such a good job against the Leafs that Steve Dangle has made a new vocabulary word for the hockey library.
Uh-oh.
I would say the Canucks are, they're, well, first of all, they're tired and they're injury riddled.
Yep.
First and foremost. So I feel like once they played 3 games in 4 days.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Their record, now that I look at it, Ian, and you're right, 42 games, they're 19, 13, and 10. Yes, they got a lot of OT losses, but that's also 10 extra games where at least they've picked up 1 point to make sure that things aren't going in complete reverse.
Yeah, and that's more than I can say for my St. Louis Blues. Oh my God. John, my kingdom for some consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Just please find it. If you're going to win, continue to win. If you are going to lose, and it will break my heart, but just lose, get a draft pick, figure out your weaknesses, try and move some contracts, but please lose. Don't stay in mediocrity. Please.
I'm going to ask you this,
God.
Ian, because, okay, I profiled a little bit as you just jumped in. You got home and home with Calgary the next 2 games, and Calgary is a team that they've been hanging out on the spot. I don't want to be nice for the sake of just Cooper Hopkins. I want to be honest here with you, Ian, and say that Calgary's a beatable team, and you can be able to get 2 wins there. But I look at the rest of the schedule outside of Utah on Saturday. So Calgary, Utah. It's a good week here for St. Louis to pick up some points. But after that, it's Vegas, Dallas, Vancouver, Colorado.
Oh, it's going to be a gauntlet. And truth be told, this stretch will hopefully be the stretch that tells the St. Louis Blues what to do before the deadline.
Sure.
Because if they continue to win, if they win most of those games and they jump into the wild card, that isn't necessarily a signal to buy or try and make a move. Maybe just stay the course and see what happens. But if you start losing, that's the signal for, okay, you're still not ready. Find that, look at your roster, see who can be moved, see who's on, if anyone's on an expiring contract, and get draft capital, get prospects, do whatever you got to do. The worst thing that can happen, win, lose, and they're just stuck.
Right. No, you're exactly right. Again, I'm just going to do this for the reporter's sake, make sure I got that all turned on for the story side. But Calgary, Utah. That's a good week there for St. Louis. Got a couple home games in the mix, but as we talked about, you don't want to get in that pattern that Ian just profiled, the win-loss. It'll be Vegas, Dallas, Vancouver, Colorado to end January. And as Ian just profiled for us, that's going to really tell you where St. Louis is and what they should do. It's going to be really interesting because when you looked at the standings, as we were just talking about, St. Louis is not that far away from a playoff spot. I don't know if Calgary is going to be able to hold it. The one thing I will say this definitively, and I know Ian's going to agree here, whether in the mix of the Winnipeg Jets, Wild, or Stars, that's 3 teams in the Central right now that have a playoff spot. Colorado's been humming of late. They got 53 points. One of those other Central teams is going to take a wild card spot. So that really only leaves one other spot for everybody else to make the playoffs, in my opinion.
Agreed. The Central is very top heavy. After that, it's a question of who's who and who wants to take it.
If I have to guess, Ian, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I know we talked about this team before. Winnipeg, Minnesota, Dallas, Colorado. 4 teams. Again, one of them takes a wild card spot. I'm taking Minnesota to take the wild card spot. I think they fall out. Do you agree, or do you want to swap one of those teams?
I gotta be honest. I saw. Okay. So one thing that the Wild have going for them is that they score, and they score a lot. So they may fall in the standings, but I don't think they'll fall out of the top 3 in the Central simply because they have a lot of goal-scoring firepower.
Okay.
Or at least that's how it looks against the Blues.
They're 16-4-3 on the road, to your point. That is one of the best records in the NHL.
And if they're like that on the road, yeah. I don't see them falling. What were the other teams you said would be wild cards?
So you got Winnipeg, Dallas, or Colorado. You got 3 more teams with 2 more spots. Who gets a wild card spot? If you've locked in Minnesota, one of those teams has to fall out. That's tough. That's why I did the question out there. I figured it would be fun.
Well, I don't see Winnipeg falling out. Hang on. I'll get back to you.
Okay. So in the mix of that, if Ian's got Minnesota, we're in agreement completely that I don't think Winnipeg falls out. That would leave it with Dallas or Colorado. And you know what? If we have to look at it that way, I'll just be completely honest and say I think Colorado's going to charge into a top 3 if they get some goaltending. That would leave Dallas as the team that's an odd man on the wild card. I don't think Dallas would be fun to play in a wild card, period.
No. Dallas, see, I don't know what to make of them because a couple of years ago or just a year ago, it looked like they were humming with the just emergence of Jason Robertson and Mio Heiskanen.
Yeah.
Is that thing?
Yep, Miro
It
Heiskanen.
looked like they were coming, and then something happened, and they just tapered off. Colorado was a surprise for me because when hockey season ended, we were looking at the Colorado Avalanche like they were going to be selling off pieces. They were going to be trying to hold the next crop of young talent in their front system. And yet now they seem to have found their stride even without Gabriel Landeskog. And they just seem to be it doesn't seem like they're going to falter anytime soon.
No, they really needed because they moved on from Justice Onanen and Alexander Georgiev, who's closing down the Red Wings right now in San Jose. All they really needed was some goaltending. And once they end up getting that, they're going to look pretty good. And that offense, and again, we all know it, and between the Moose, Mikko Rantanen, Nathan McKinnon, and Cale Makar, you're not stopping those guys. It doesn't matter who it is. There isn't a team in the NHL that can stop that trifecta. Again, Tampa Bay Lightning might be the only other group that has that type of top-end talent as far as forwards, but you literally can't stop that offense. They get some goaltending at all, and they can push. They can look good. Now, Colorado is able to beat the Winnipeg Jets in the playoffs over the last couple of years, but after that, then they seem to fall off. I wonder if Colorado essentially, from a few years ago when they beat Tampa in the Cup final, and that one was epic, can they ever get back to that form? And that's the question.
To do that, I think, if they have solved their goaltending problems with the starter, the backup, with the roster they still have, they're a cup contender,
Mhm.
in my opinion. Although, the first place team that I'm looking at to be just frauds all around.
I have a name in mind, but you take it.
Go ahead and give me yours first, and let's see, and I'm talking about just the NHL as a whole, not just the Western Conference.
Okay, I was thinking East, so that is that's a big one for me. But you in the East, I'm gonna say, and I've watched them a couple times already, and I know what the goal totals say, and I know what the numbers say, but Washington Capitals.
Oh, I'm not looking at the Washington Capitals.
Who are you looking at?
No. I don't trust the Leafs. I don't.
So we're still okay.
They may have won 5.
Go ahead, Ian.
They may have won 5 straight. Wait, what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, are we? I'm sorry. Are we back? Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we're good. Go ahead.
So the reason I don't trust the Leafs is because if you look at the 5 games they won in that streak, if you look at how they played, it was not pretty. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you got to win ugly, and sometimes you go on a streak of winning ugly. But if you look at their power play numbers, it's not where they should be. With a team that's got Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and Riley, and Tavares, it should be much better. And I'm sorry, I just don't trust them.
Ian, I have no argument for that. The only reason I did not mention them is because, and you know this, and Alec, and even Cooper once said, we've been talking about the Leafs 4 or 5 years, not because everybody talks about them as a team in Canada, but it's been the same things over and over. And I can't refute any of those points because you're absolutely correct. My hope is, especially for Leafs fans, I'm not one of them, but I'm just saying it objectively, and you've known it with Craig Berube, that he's got to be the guy to push the right buttons to get this core 4 in order, because that's what they got.
See, that's
So this one will go. Hold on one second.
And now, any social media platform.
Right. So we'll get an icing at 15:58. I'll get back into the play-by-play. I don't know if I lost Ian there for a moment. The Red Wings have made it a 2-1 game. We'll get back into the play-by-play. It was a 2-on-1 for Mitch Marner. He got sticked aside by Dallas as Matthews took a long shot that brushed in near the left side of the crease. I don't know if the space was messing up there for a moment, but we should be good to go here. 15:55 left to go here in this second. John under with you alongside Ian Genji. It's still a 1-1 game. This is to be picked up off the backhand now and sent back around the end boards. Good reverse hit there for Dallas. Here's a long shot that gets deflected and sent back down the ice. They started again here for Demba, who's got the cage mask on. This will be picked off in through neutral for Willie Nylander. We'll start this one again as the forwards can take a change. And near the right side blue line, this will be deflected again. Shots on goal are 15-8, so Toronto's kind of been shut down from that exceptional start that they had. Pick Ian back up here again as this is sent in behind the inboards and flip back down. Now this will be picked up now for Bach as this is knocked away by Toronto and their defense. Long outstretched pass. They are seen as we try to get recollected for Willie Nylander, picked off by Sam Steele. Bach and have the fourth line alongside Colin Blackwell with them near the left side of the red line. Now toward the right side, big bomb, good deflection there away from the defense as Heiskanen has to gain the red line. Wall will get out of his goal crease. 14:30 left to go in this second at Scotiabank. It's still a 1-1 game here. Now on toward the left side blue line, long shot. This will hit the netting on a play. 14:25 left in the middle frame. So I know that you were making a point about the Leafs, Ian, and then everything kind of got messed up in the space.
Yeah, so, okay, I'll keep it short. One thing that Dangles said in his video when talking about the next game, he said, there's nothing wrong with the Leafs, and that's the problem. If you look at and he said, look at every team that's ever won a cup, or has ever been with, or where there's ever been a dynasty. When or something was wrong with the Colorado Avalanche, the St. Louis Blues. There's something going on. There's something going on with Alex Petrangelo. And the point he was making was any team that wins, there's always something wrong with the players because they are hyper focused and their passion to win can be mistaken for something toxic. He also said, who has the screw loose on the Leafs? I can't think of anyone.
No, I think that's actually a good point when honestly you look at it, because you know what this team is. I think everybody's got their head on straight. They know what the task is. It's just an unbelievable amount of pressure on them. And that top-heavy line that we know about with the cap and everything else. But he's right. Everybody, they're kind of doing what they need to do here. It's just about getting to the playoffs and actually getting it done.
Yeah. I mean, good Lord. Alex Ovechkin's a madman. He's the Stanley Cup champion. Is gunning to be the greatest goal scorer ever.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know he's nuts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he lives, breathes, and dies.
Hockey,
yes.
Insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's why I see the Leafs as frauds. I don't trust them.
And again, we've seen that same old song and dance that Ian's referring to, and we've covered it ad nauseum. I'm sure everybody else in the United States and Canada and all are sick of hearing about the Leafs and what works and what doesn't work. But I think the point that Ian was just making alongside Dangle is correct. I mean, there really isn't anything wrong. Look at what they added in the offseason in OEL and Chris Tanev. Those are really good defensive pieces that made their team better. They have a good coach. I know Anthony Stolarz is hurt right now, but Stolarz has been unbelievable. And if not for the Four Nations face-off side, I usually make the All-Star stuff every year. I have to wonder how that still goes, if they still have selections nonetheless. Stolarz would be pretty much number one on the season for me right now for the Toronto Maple Leafs as far as goaltending and everything else. It's a deep team. They're well coached. They have good players. They've just got to be able to get the job done. That's what we always refer to. Now, it is interesting, and I'm sure Ian's probably wondering why I mentioned the Caps, because, man, their goals for is outrageous. They're like tops in the league. Their goals against is good. Logan Thompson's been terrific. Spencer Carberry's a great coach. It's kind of a head-scratcher because when the Caps go down, they get buried. They lose by 3, 4, 5. They can't get back in the game. The Caps are a heavy puck possession team. They're a heavy pace team. What I mean by that is they want to take the puck. They want to control the entire game. They want to limit shots on goal. And when they can't do that against other high-powered teams, they get destroyed. Other times, they just look good. So I wonder if it's going to work that way with the Caps. I look at the Caps as a very good regular season team. I kind of make the comparison to them with the Memphis Grizzlies, a little bit of the grit and grind. Always work your way through the regular season, do tons of damage there, but when it gets in the playoffs, I want to see what they can do. Now, the ads that they made with Chychrun, the emergence of Ovechkin, all that stuff is great. Spencer Carberry is a great coach, and they've extended the playoff window, which is excellent. But I don't think they're going to be lifting a cup this year. So Lyubushkin now toward the left side dot as we get back into the play-by-play. Again, I've kind of mixed and matched from talking with Ian as well, but there's not been a lot going on in this second period. It's 15-10 on the shot board as these two teams are trying to get locked into a defensive battle. Timmins will get this in toward the left side blue line, and this will be sent back down. Settle there for Dewar, and now Timmins. Try to start this one again as it bounces away from David Kampf into Dallas's defensive end. 13 minutes left to go in the second. We've had plenty of conversations about Dallas as well. I know Alec has mentioned alongside Peter DeBoer whether he's the guy to be able to get the job done, because this is a team that's been in the Stanley Cup Finals multiple times and hasn't gotten the job done. When's it going to work for the Dallas Stars? That power play is going to get much better, though. It's been brutal. As Nylander now tries to get it off the sauce, and this will be deflected. Good back check by the whole entire defensive team of Dallas, as they'll settle this one now and off the backhand, find the entry, but they're offsides. 12:34 in the second. So again, I got the TSN feed for this one. I'm going to flip over to Victory, but sometimes on the Dallas end, they cut a little bit too late as far as play-by-play. So DeBoer's NHL record pretty good, 639, 435, and 147. He can get his teams to the playoffs, but it's about getting over that line. That's the main thing about Peter DeBoer, as they moved along from Rick Bowness, who was a good coach. Again, you could have that same argument with Rick Bowness, but Rick Bowness never had the talent that Peter DeBoer has with this version of the Stars. And alongside Jim Nill, the former GM of the Red Wings, when you're able to get Robertson, Ottinger, and Heiskanen all in the same draft, that's how you start your dynasty. That's what Dallas wants to continue to actually get cups for. As this is picked up now for Jason Robertson. Nick Robertson, I believe, has won every matchup of his younger brother in between Jason Robertson as this gets iced against the Stars. So I will flip in between the Blues and the Flames once we get a stoppage here. At the end of the second period, as you look at Jim Nill on the TSN side, Vlad Tarasenko has just scored for the Wings with Simon Evanson and Jonathan Berggren. Billy Husso has only had to make 5 out of 7 as far as Gergiev, 16 out of 17. We'll get back into this play-by-play. This is the high side blue line. This shot goes purposely off the end boards and off the bar again, if you can believe it. That is the 5th post that Toronto has hit. Connor Timmins now on the back skate. Have to start this one again. Long outstretched pass, John Tavares right up the gut. He's got Willie Nylander with him on the right side wing. Here's another deflection, big rebound. Toronto can't shoot. Nice had to recollect, and Ottinger was down and out. If he could have got the backhand off, was nice, could have scored. 2-on-1 the other way. Benn Dadonov. Benn shoots it high. This one stays in play. Toronto, Matthew Knies gets hit hard into the boards as he was trying to just race for the vulcanized rubber. And now soft flip down the ice. Settle back down for Niels Lundqvist. Lundqvist now outstretched from 50, trying to sauce it ahead. Picked up. Here's a partial break for Toronto, but there wasn't enough speed as the shot goes wide. Philip Myers. Touch pass one more time. Good stick lift in tight by Heiskanen. Denied a goal-scoring opportunity. Bobby McMahon now gets it back to his defense. Here is an opportunity on the backhand for the defense on the pinch. As this will working around the end boards now. Morgan Riley through the traffic, and Ottinger says no. 10:47 left in the second. And a good puck battle here for Toronto right now as they're starting to find some juice in this one, almost halfway through regulation. Checking the play-by-play now as Timmins will send this one across the left side red line. Slowly around the end boards. Toronto now trying to get a little more even on the shot board. The scoreboard's still even as it's 1-1. The Stars will ice it. The fifth post already. We're only in the second period, almost at the halfway marker. Shots are now 15-13. But the puck matriculated after it went off the post toward the right side red line off the boards. And Matthew Knies had to pick it up on the back skid. He couldn't shoot. It would have been 2-1 Toronto as Craig Berube looks on. Austin Matthews will take this face-off against Colin Blackwell, so he definitely should have the advantage here. And they'll get a warbling puck back to defense. Long shot right in the breadbasket of Ottinger. Will do it again right at 10-17.
Just a quick update. The Blues strike blood first. Goal scored by Colton Parayko, assisted by, Ray Jen and Cam Fowler.
So we'll continue to follow that along. I know I said to Ian in the mix of it, once we get to a intermission here, I'm going to flip in between the Flames and Blues because I want to see what happens. Again, back-to-back games at Enterprise against the Flames, and I do think that's a team that they can get both wins on. Again, between the Flames, Double, and Utah, I would say 5 out of 6 points at least for the Blues. I think they're going to be able to do that.
I sure hope so.
That's what we've been talking about alongside with Ian, and I know he feels the same. I'm going to make sure I set up my scoreboard here, and my Bucks is all out of place on ESPN. The Bruins are destroying the Lightning right now, 4-0, as this one will fall back to Ottinger again off the ice. He has been a busy man. Toronto's starting to win a lot of draws here, 10:04 left. Canucks and Jets and Golden Knights and Preds now underway. A couple 9 o'clock games, so nothing too late on the West Coast. Well, 6 p.m. for them. Rangers Avalanche. That could be a good one considering if the Rangers are playing the way they've played lately. And then the Canadians, who've been red hot, they're going to play Utah on the road. Heiskanen now, as this one is toward the left side of the Toronto logo. And Lyubushkin now for Heiskanen, touch pass. Does not get out of the zone, but Jason Robertson off the flip. This one will get sent in. I know I've had some conversations before and through covering this for Jason Robertson. I still think he's a good 200-foot player, but the goal scoring has just not been there. I was not talking about that as much as in his first 3 seasons here with Dallas, but I think they expected more on the offensive end as Heiskanen now off the feed goes wide, the left side red line. This will be off the left Wyatt Johnston. He gets dispossessed right in the middle of the slot, but he'll get his own retrieval. Near the right side board, sending it toward the net. A good save with the left pad by Wall in the midst of a lot of traffic. Outstretched now. This is a 2-on-2 and a long shot. Be gloved down by Ottinger and not held. Dallas try to break the other way quickly. It's Matt Duchene. He was one hell of a buyout pickup as this is stolen by Benoit. Simon Benoit with 8:59 left in the second. You get a whistle. So we'll take a break here, and I look as far as any other updates. When I was looking at the shots on goal totals, Pittsburgh was just demolishing the Kraken. It is 2-1 now for the Pens. The Kraken have just 5 shots, and it's 9:50 left to go in the second. Pittsburgh has 21. Decord has given up 2.
I gotta tell you, man, the Pens are, Jesus, wow, oh man, is that wild card race is tight.
Mm-hmm.
See, Alec and I have had discussions about what should the Penguins do at the deadline. But with how close the wild card race is,
It could essentially, Ian, be an arms race for a lot of teams that want to buy to try to get into that last wild card spot. And I think it's just a good thing for the NHL, quite honestly, to have this much parity as far as a spot. Again, we like to see dominant teams be dominant. I'm not going to disagree there, but to see this race with this many teams in it at the halfway marker and the deadline, what, a couple months away here almost, that it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Which begs the question, if it's going to be a buyer's market, oh boy.
Yeah, because if you know teams are going to be looking for a fire sale, that also means the guys that are moving the players to other teams can get a lot in return. So that is going to be a lot. And how much are you willing to get in return for a rental in most cases?
Right. Well, I can speak for the Blues. They don't have a lot to offer. I mean, they could mortgage their future, but right now they're in between rebuild. They're in between rebuild and contender mode. They don't know what they want to be, which means they don't have a lot to give up.
And with the cap space and the old decor and the things that we talked about before here, Ian, I agree with you. I think even if the Blues do get on a run, I think it would still be to me a soft sell, meaning that you're still going ahead and pushing for a playoff spot. You're not getting rid of anything major, but you're certainly not adding a whole bunch because I don't think you can afford to, and you don't really want to give away a whole heck of a lot unless it makes sense to do so.
No, I mean, truth be told, when they traded Tarasenko, O'Reilly, their
Right.
core for first round picks, it was the right move. They were all on expiring contracts and they weren't going to be able to bring it back. But now I'm wondering if maybe they shouldn't have gone further if they could have.
Yeah, because when you think of it now, I'm going to get into the play-by-play in a second because Dallas is on the power play, but their power play has been just awful. This is toward the right side dot. But when you think about it for Nashville, Barry Trotz, you're bringing in a lot of those guys alongside O'Reilly and all of that. Now they're way past their numbers, and they've already got long contracts, 3-4 years. They got overpaid essentially. So, from what Ian was talking about, you could have probably extended that run a little bit more if you wanted to for St. Louis, which made sense. But now you got Kyrou and Thomas, who are great players, but you got to add along to them while still managing that decor.
Yeah. I think the big reason they didn't try to sign it is I think it all goes back to your Ken Holland Red Wings fan. I think they saw what happened when you tried to keep the band together, and I don't think any team's going to try and risk that.
No, you got to rip the Band-Aid off and do it right quickly. And again, I said some things about Dallas because their power play has just been terrible. It wasn't the first one, but here we go. Let's get this live call here. Sam Steele off the back pass. Long shot, Harley. Don't know if it got tipped by Maverick Bourque or not, but Dallas now has the lead. They get a power play goal on John Tavares' second slash of the game. Dallas has taken a 2-1 lead. So that right at the 7:25 marker, and it was the first power play goal that Toronto's given up in the last 8. They're in danger. Again, still tons of time, but it'd be 3 losses in a row for Toronto. So I'll check back into this official recorder now. So that could be 3 losses in a row. The last time that happened was January 13th and 16th of this year, in the mix of it, or 2024, I should say, as this goes back in behind the end boards. Settled down now for Bourque as he'll recollect this now for Wall. He just backs up with the puck into his own end as Toronto now tries to break out. John Tavares dispossessed by Dallas off the line. Stankoven tried to do it himself. He jumped out of the air to try to recollect the puck again, split the defense. Now Dallas, Duchene, Harley, tipped again toward the right side, wide of wall, and all the way back off the pinball. This was to be a rolling puck, be settled down in the middle of the dots. Thomas Harley has been unbelievable in the plus minus. He's a plus 25. Again, they wanted to give him some top minutes in from last year. Stick gets exploited for Logan Stankoven. Here emerges Benn off the drop as Dallas essentially put a forward down just for a moment. Benn now will watch this go to the right side. Almost intercepted. Toronto trying to push. As again, Dadonov trying to force the steal. And a monster hit near the right side boards. We're going to have to see who that was. But they popped up quickly. And now Toronto trying to fight with Dumba. But my goodness, what a hit that was near the players' bench. They better show this on the camera shot. I know they got the goal. They got that there for Dallas. But we're going to have to check this back when you go back into TSN. But that was an explosive hit as we go to break. Let me see if I can find it here in the ESPN box. It's a shame that TSN did not do that. I'm trying to make sure to give it justice here. But let's go to the live call. So Bobby McMahon's shot was saved, and they're not even showing the hit here on the ESPN box, unfortunately. But we will get it when we get to the live call again. 3:38 left to go in the second in between the Sharks and Red Wings. Red Wings still within one of San Jose. They're trying to go 8 in a row, and if they do so, it's big because of the schedule that I profiled a little bit earlier. Again, they lost their first meeting against the Sharks. You go 0-2 in the season series. That's not going to be good. But you got Florida, Tampa, Dallas. Dallas already is on a back-to-back again that Saturday and Sunday as well. But they'll go into Florida, play both those teams, then play Dallas. Then it's Philadelphia, Montreal, Tampa, Los Angeles, Edmonton. So this is a very difficult schedule here, just like the Blues, and now for the Wings through the end of January. The Kings have been one of the better teams in the league of late as they're starting to soar through the standings in the Pacific.
So where are the Kings playing their games now? As given the situation, and given the devastation happening in Los Angeles, where are they based now?
That is my guess too, Ian. I'm gonna have to look that up. That was Dumba on Domi. That was the hit. Is Domi? I know he's missing some teeth on the top of it. I don't know if there was a couple extra after that hit. We're gonna have to look that up. Ian, if you can look that up for me, if you're on any of that stuff, I'll definitely do so at a break at the moment because I'm interested too to wonder because when Calgary was last over there in LA, that game essentially got postponed with all those fires in the Palisades that are only, 15% contained? And it's been extending all over the place. So 5:20 left to go here in the second. Dumba's hit on Domi was a monster one as Dallas is now taking the lead off of the deflection. Maybe Maverick Bork or Thomas Harley. I know that shot was a long one there. We'll get that squared away in a moment. As far as the official back and forth, this will bounce off of Dadonov, and now Toronto will send this one in. So Maverick Bork will get the deflection, and alongside with Stankoven and Harley. Harley was the one, so must have been a double doink from Stankoven and Bork. That's his fourth on the power play. 4:45 left to go in the second. Chris Tanev from 100 feet. This one will get not sticked in. It'll be iced against the Leafs. So Ian's point's going to be proven right before our eyes right now, because even Mike Johnston on the TSN side said, "Where's the offense for Toronto?" Haven't seen that. They've got a lot of shots here in the second, but nothing that Ottinger can't deal with. They did hit a lot of posts in this one so far. It is 5, so mix that in, because this game could have been a lot different here. And no tripping call. The fans wanted to get at Scotiabank as this one's flipped back down. 3:55 now left to go in this second. I'm going to get Ian back in here again. This has been hopping in and out a few times. So Stankoven will poke at the puck with 3:40 left to go in the second as we get the customary refs chant for a call that was not made. This will be sent back down to Leafs on Benoit. Now for David Kampf, who tries to emerge in his own end. It's Ryan Reeves off the chip and chase, trying to see if he can get to himself against Harley. He will finish his hit as you expect him to do. 3:20 left to go in the second. Near the right side wall, Stankoven able to get the steal. He's already got 2 points in this game. Here's Duchene off the windmill. Reverse hit, gets taken off the puck, but still strong enough to fight it into the corner. Kampf off the left to DeBoer. And this will bounce to Thomas Harley. Harley lost it for a moment. Kampf trying to force a steal. And this will be picked up here for Jason Robertson. He could snipe if he wants to, but he got stick lifted at the last moment. He took too long. Philip Myers able to get this out, a little rolling puck. And toward the right side inboards now. This will be toward the left red line. See if Toronto can send it in. Here's a bounce for the puck in the defensive zone of the Stars. And here emerges one of the Stars and mixed with Steele. Intercepted by Toronto in their own end, trying to break out left to right. And the all blue with the right stripes. Couple moves for Nyes. He gets knocked away from the puck. Dallas now trying to push the other way with Robertson. Johnston. Here's Dadonov on his backhand. That goes wide. Shot board is now 18 apiece. Dallas. I say he's going to just flip it into the right side boards in the corner. It's a 2-1 lead as Harley's shot got double deflect by Maverick Bork and Stankoven. It's a 2-1 lead for the Stars. Spin for John Tavares. He's had a poor game with a couple of penalties. And this is stolen. He couldn't find it for Nylander. Heiskanen pushed the other way. 2-on-1. Good diving play for Tanev. Saved a goal there as Bork was off the rush. And Toronto escapes the danger. That's the Lindell. 1:40 left to go in the second on the backseat. We'll flip it in. Right the wall. We'll stick it aside. The Zebras will do some house cleaning near that left dot as Toronto has iced it. So I'm looking at a little bit of the scoreboard as Dallas now has the puck. I just saw the Nashville Predators take a 2-0 lead on the Vegas Golden Knights. Golden Knights would be losing 3 of the last 4. They lost 4-0 to the Islanders and 2-1 to the Rangers. And we'll see how that one shakes out. They'll be losing one of their top spots in the power rankings, at least, if that continues. This will be sent back now for Harley. Try to do this one more time. We've just not been able to connect here with Ian. This is sent out to the right side here. Timmins will use the glass. Little race for the puck. And this will end up working out for Toronto with Nick Robertson. Good sauce pass. Myers walks in. Good save for Ottinger. He closes the 5-hole. 52 seconds left to go here in this middle frame. So Gord Miller had mentioned alongside McMahon with Matthews and Marner here. They've kind of mixed those lines here for Craig Berube. Try to find some answer here for offense. Again, those posts early, I know that doesn't equate to the entire story, and you got to get conversions, but Toronto looked very good to open this one. Austin Matthews Marner, one pass too many. Try to go back to number 34. That's what he should have done, as there's 20 seconds left to go in the second. This will be Blackwell. He gets absolutely taken down. And one on the other said, hey, come on, that's a dive, OEL, to Colin Blackwell as they exchange some words. Colin Blackwell a little bit shorter there than OEL, but somebody can be going to the box. Ilya Lyubushkin going to go to the dressing room. He's in a little bit of a pain. So Dallas down a couple of players here as we look back into their depth chart. So Bamel and Lyubushkin. So one forward, one D man. And he got hit right in the jewels, I think, did Lyubushkin, with the stick. And that's not what you want. As Nick Robertson able to take his man down. So a hold against OEL right at 1941. 2 minutes on Dallas's power play, 1 for 2 with one shot. That one shot was a goal. That was in the latest power play. The first one they didn't have any shots. So Toronto going to have to kill some power play time. This gets extended. One more rush for Dallas. To the right side boards. Touch pass right to Camp. That is going to end the second period. And Dallas has a 2-1 lead. Power play goal ended up being a double deflection courtesy of Maverick Bork. And that is why the Stars are up 2-1. Come back. We'll call the final 20 unless we need more. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Vacation for just $25 now. With us, we guarantee you'll see Alaskan glaciers on every Alaska cruise. Explore over 175 UNESCO World Heritage sites across Europe, or relax away on our private island at Roope. Plus, enjoy free balcony upgrades, free kids fairs, and up to $400 in onboard credit. But don't wait. This exclusive offer ends January 20th. Book today. It's not time to open the fridge.
I'm not sure why I'm showing you this.
The cabinets, your pantry.
Heard about new storage for snacks or standard stuff.
You show how much space you have in your kitchen. Resetting your home with the door is so easy. You can do it during halftime.
People always want to go, it's not from someone else or anything.
Get started at opendoor.com. What the leading company is an exceptional customer experience. What makes it possible is unmatched connectivity and 5G solution from T-Mobile for Business. T-Mobile connects Tractor Supply stores nationwide to provide 5G business speed and partner with EPA of America on game-changing innovation. This is how business goes further. T-Mobile for Business.
My treats today. Thank you. But I don't think they take everything. Of course they take discount. It's accepted at 99% of places. 99%? I didn't know that. You're stuck at the pass. I'm like, really? You were right.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places nationwide. Earn cash back at all. Oh, that's very,
Right?
This store doesn't have agent reports, so they didn't tip off the stylist as to what I might actually do.
Yes.
That's a commitment. Hey, bud. Good thing. No people can see you out here. Love you too. Agent reports help retailers prevent fashion failures. It's what AI was meant to be.
I was born to live in the limelight.
But psoriasis kept me in the shadows until I got clearer skin. With Dennis Alex, this is my shot to say, I'm back. I can love my skin again.
Only Gonzalez targets and blocks IL-17A plus F to calm inflammation.
Most people got 100% clear skin. Some after the first dose.
Serious side effects like suicidal thoughts and more. Left Fighter panel is just ahead. First, let's hear from Chris Tanner with Mark Master.
Chris, what's the key to the third period comeback here tonight?
Just getting pucks to that. We got to get some traffic in front of him. He's a good goalie and makes saves when he sees it usually.
Stars got one on the power play. We got a power play to start the third. What are the points of emphasis for you guys in the kill?
Yeah, work hard, get good clears, need a big kill here, and then get to work.
Thanks, guys.
Of course.
Remedy. There's very great to continue and we don't spend a lot of time questioning penalties on this panel because you could almost do it every period one way or the other. Usually they balance out, but once one you feel is this egregious that leads to the difference in the hockey game so far.
Look, I know it's not the best period for both teams. That was not the best period of hockey. It was terrible. But when you're looking for some positivity, the last thing you need is a garbage call from the referees. I talked a couple of weeks ago about ticky-tack plays like this, and they're calling all the time. What was the penalty there? I just don't understand. He grazed his shin pad. I don't know how Craig Roope kept it together after that one. And you're thinking they can't possibly go on the power play. I just think that referee and making that call at that particular point of the game is unacceptable.
Yeah, it's in the neutral zone. You're not in an offensive zone. You're not taking away scoring chances at love tap. It's nothing.
Chop his hands, stop the draw, and first of all, go to the box and get the iPad and say, you know what, I screwed up. It's not a penalty.
Wait a second here. We're talking about expanding video.
I don't know. Just look at it and say, I screwed up. That's not a penalty, man. There's nothing worse. You're not having your best game. You can't have the refs call that.
I get it. Now the line is razor thin, right? Because through the third period, you're looking for something in return.
Back when Robertson takes that penalty near the end of the period, that's a penalty all day long. What makes the commissioner's office really angry is when we get close to the playoffs and we start questioning a standard. What does a standard going to look like in the playoffs? And they push back and say, no, it's the same as the regular season. I have a hard time believing that is getting called in the playoffs. Absolutely not. And you're going to have the coach. He deserves to have Craig Roope all over him the rest of the game saying that other one was a penalty. Why wasn't this other stuff?
What happened in Marner, right in the offensive zone? Exactly. That wasn't called. If you're going to call that in the neutral zone, you have to call that.
But it's not the ref's fault. They couldn't kill penalties or what went wrong in the
You
game.
got to be more aggressive in front of your own net. I understand you want to box it. You want to force everything to the outside. But you can't have the two Dallas Stars offensive players gaining position off of this. It's a simple get it back to the point. And look how open these two guys are. Both of the Leaf defenders are moving outwards, especially Evgenii and Marchment. And this is a double point that goes off both of these guys. One sheet pad in front of the net. But you've got to do a better job of boxing out. Now that's the difference maker in a hockey game after that garbage call.
Let's go through Matthew Knies' day. He gets demoted from the first line, at least for the start of tonight. He hits 2 posts. He gets knocked in the face, I think, twice. And then he has, if he's looking at the iPad right now between periods, he's going to look at that one where he had a wide open net and chose not to.
Yeah, I mean, look, it always boils down to the work ethic of Matthew Knies, though, right? Like, he's always in it, whether it's net front, in the corner, retrieving pucks, using the body, the shot, the deflections, the other little bit of everything. As you alluded to, James, 4 posts, at least at this point in the hockey game. Matthew Knies has a couple of them. But the one that's really going to sting is coming up right here. The empty cage on the backhand. He doesn't see it. He just flat out doesn't see it, and he skates away, and there's a chance the other way. It's a tough one.
Yeah, he's on his backhand, so I don't think he saw it or knew that it was there.
And he scored that ridiculous backhand.
He scored it. That's something he's in the last 2 weeks. Just do it again.
I think the most noticeable week, or at least Leafs defense, was been Myers tonight.
Yeah, I really liked his game and just the confidence to pop into the right spots at the right time. 3 shots on goal, but it's how he's getting there that I really like. And just the rush it. He comes in off of the rush here and he just pops to that spot and really nice one-timer. He lets it in. Again, just through that middle of the ice. You're attacking the forward when he's off the rush. Closing out. You want to shut down rush for Dallas. That's how you do it. 3 hits so far. And again, recognize that the ice is there. Take it. That's exactly what he's done.
We have more than 40 here in intermission number 2, including highlights from Ryan National Hockey. NFL race in the East right now. It's nuts. There's about 8 teams in the thick of it. Penguins were one of those who put themselves back into the race. Back into tonight. 11 games.
All right, guys, sorry about that. I mean, I'm a little bit hobbled, and not just for several pulls, you know, like a blister that broke on the foot. So still getting all the exercise and everything else in. Just takes me a little longer to get back up the steps and do all the other stuff. I gotta get some water. Get settled here for the third. So I know I was conversing with Ian a little bit, but not much to tell you about in the second other than the double deflection. Andre made a great save as it was settled there between Philip Myers and Robertson with 52 seconds left. Other than that, double deflection from a Harley chance. Toronto hits the fifth post of the game as the puck goes off the boards, and Nice can't shoot up the backhand to collect. Let's give me the shots on goal. Shots on goal 20-19 for Dallas. And in comparison to the first, Toronto had 11 in that in comparison to Dallas's 8 hits. It's all Toronto really on the hits. 21-10. Face-offs were even now, just slightly an edge for the Stars, 20-17. Power play is 1 for 3. And Toronto did not get a power play in that period. They're still 0 for 1. So Maverick Bork, the latest on the power play from the deflection from Stankoven and Harley, shot from the point. Logan Stankoven, Sam Steele, Matt Duchene. So Stankoven goal and assist. Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner in that first with the short side snipe. Nothing in the second period for Toronto. Again, they had some shots in the posts. Again, we talk about will be part of the story. But they need more. So at the end of the second now, San Jose, it's a 2-1. Tarasenko, again, that goal. Pitt, 2-1 over Seattle. Bruins all over the Lightning. That ends the second 4-2. Lightning do get one back. It was 4-1. So it's Frederick, Wotherspoon, Marchand, Pasta, and Geeky, and Hedman. Swimmin 25 of 27. Vasilevsky having a rough night. 13 of 17. Not used to seeing that too often. Caps all over the Ducks. Ducks have been on struggle bus lately. 3-0 now. Panthers Devils still scoreless. 11:35 in the second. Flames and Blues. Again, that one. And the first. That'll be the game that I watch. When this one's done, Colt Breaker from Shannon Fowler as Ian Profile. Jordan Bennington just 8 of 8. Dan Vladar 7 of 8. And the Jets, I was considering doing this game. I'm glad I did not. I got a much more competitive one here. Connor Hellebuck just 6 of 6. Kyle Connor, how do you do, sir? Natural hat trick in the first for the Clinton, Michigan native. So always happy to see Kyle Connor, former University of Michigan Maize and Blue standout with a natural hat. Gabe Villiardi, 3 points on 3 assists. As Kevin Lincoln in 5 of 8. 659, 1301, and 1337. Kyle Connor, 24, 25, and 26 on the season. My goodness. That's crazy because I was considering doing that game. I'm glad we got one that's much more competitive. Sharks and Red Wings are going to start to get underway now. If it stays within a goal, I do think the Red Wings can at least tie. They might lose an OT. I think they'll get a point. Maybe they'll get 2. And the Sharks have just taken a 3-1 lead. Man, oh man. William Eklund from Celebrini and Toffoli. I thought that they were going to lose this game, to be honest with you, against the Sharks. But I really want to see the Red Wings now bounce back and not start to go the other way. Because when you're playing, let me just give an update here. So the Sharks have taken a 3-1 lead. William Eklund from Celebrini and Toffoli. I really want to see the Red Wings push the other way now in that game on Thursday against Florida, because you really don't want all the momentum you're just trying to gather here to go completely the other way. I know Talbot can't play every game. Ville Husso needs to be better. He knows it. He has not been good in a Red Wings uniform. And Alex Lyon is injured, so you don't have anyone else unless you're calling up Sebastian Cossa. I think they want to make sure that Cossa gets all the seasoning that he can get.
Program, and they immediately became really close. So auditor absolutely gushing about Bull today, saying he's like the perfect human, gave him for teaching a lot
not good off-ice habits. Says he's one of the best goalies in the world right now, and that he'll watch his game to try and learn things to incorporate into his game. The pair went to dinner last night, and one of the topics that came up was Chris Tanev and how much they love playing a guy like this. Auditor calling him a goalie's dream. They were remarking how amazing it was that grade 8 chances quickly became block shots. As for the dinner, guys, Auditor says Wool wanted to pay, but he snatched the check, and now he's 20 minutes away from snatching 2 points.
Well, that's what happened when you signed an $8.25 million extension. Seems only fair. But Larson's got a minute 1 second to serve Dallas.
So OEL has a little bit of a power play, or a kill, excuse me, that they got to do this again. So Toronto's going to have to start the third period on a kill. 1:30 left to go in Dallas's power play. They've had one conversion. They're 1 of 2. And we'll see what they can get here off the double deflection there. Maverick Bork was the one that got credit from a Harley shot as this one goes back down. So Jake Ottinger, we'll slow it up again. They just did a little profile on TSN between Joseph Wall and Jake Ottinger and how much they're best friends from the USA Hockey Development Program. And I guess they went out to dinner and Ottinger picked up the check. And that's what you get when you get that extension. And toward the right side, Marner will be pinned against the glass as Dallas tries to go ahead and find this here with Jason Robertson. Now Benoit joins in on the fray. The camera shot is just a mess of humanity. He's getting a little bit too far for Benn. He recovers. Now Duchene, shooting lane blocked high slot. This one is inside the net. Was Chris Tanev trying to pick up his lumber as he's toward the right side red line now for Wyatt Johnston. Johnston now in tight between the legs. Duchene scores. What a beauty! He was able to convert that one in a mall phone booth past Wall, and the second power play goal for the Dallas Stars gives them a 2-goal lead. Matt Duchene, what wizardry. Let's take another look. This is in the high slot. Tanev stuck in the goal crease and toward the right side dot. Again, they keep showing the other stuff here. I want to see the goal. Come on, TSN. Wyatt Johnston. This is finished between the legs by Duchene in the mix right out in front of the crease. A little, how do you do? A little sauce for Matt Duchene. That's disgusting. So Matt Duchene with a little wizardry. It's the second power play goal for the Dallas Stars. And now they have a 21-19 lead on the shot board. And Toronto, after hitting all those posts as we profiled many times in this game in the first, seemingly have no answers. Is Sam Steele now. Send it back to his defense. It's deflected. Wall able to make the save with the right pad. I mean, there's literally nothing Joseph could do on that goal against Matt Duchene there. That was just absolutely gross. As this is sent toward the right side dot. Willie Nylander will flip this one back in. They give a chase now for Matthew Knies. Nils Lundqvist makes the right play. There's a rolling vulcanized rubber that goes right to Toronto. And OEL right out of the box. Now his team is down a couple goals. Latest couple of goals there for Dallas on the power play. And Toronto hadn't given one up in 8. As OEL shot solved by Ottinger.
It's not just to be fancy, it's because the chase angle can come away from the goaltender to go to the far side, and then the poke check. They tried to get it, but mistake takes away the goaltender's stick, and he tucks it to the side. Everybody on every team and every goal has that in their game when needed. Duchene will be one of the best markets in the NHL.
So it's Duchene on the power play, 17 from Johnston and Heiskanen, as Dallas now takes a 3-1 lead. I mean, that's a highlight reel goal. I know some of the stuff on TSN was just poo-pooed there with Johnston saying, well, everybody does it. It doesn't take away the skill there from Matt Duchene. I think that's definitely the wrong remark you can say as far as that was flipped. That was highlight reel stuff. As this is now toward the right side, Duchene, who just scored off the drop, tried to set it up for Robo, and this one deflected. Picked up by Domi for a moment off a couple of stick chops. And settled back down for Robertson. Blind pass. Duchene scores again! He's got two. That one was a little bit easier, but credit to Robo for making it all happen. And Dallas now starting to blow the doors off. So I have to see if that goal's getting credit to Logan Stankovic or not. Duchene's shot might have bounced off Logan. That would be his third point of the game, but credit to Robertson and the right side boards for keeping that play alive. And this would be the first time I could say in a while from covering these games alongside Ian or Alec or Cooper Hopkins that Nick Robertson would get the disadvantage in this matchup against his older brother, because the younger brother has been winning this one, but Dallas taking complete control of this game now. So Logan Stankovic already has two. This is his sixth at 254 from Duchene and Robertson. This is a send now for Lyubushkin. High in off the glass. Domi trying to settle it down. It's picked off. Here's another shot. Wall says no. Sam Steele, that was an 80-mile-an-hour wrist shot. As this one will sent back down here. So I'll get all the goals typed in once we get the break. It's Connor Timmins. We'll push the other way here for Benoit. Domi leaves it, but he throws it right to the Stars. Try to get gloved down for Morgan Riley, and this will be bounced in off the red. Essa Lindell was trying to make sure that was not an icing call, so took an extra look down toward his feet. Picked up here for Essa. Fanned on the clear partially, and now outstretched feed one more time as this is settled down by Philip Myers. So Myers here for Riley. Bounced up into the air with the glove hand. Benoit picked up by Toronto again. Morgan Riley now on his back skate. Long shot. This one goes in off the glass. Settle back down. Matt Duchene will spin it. As this is recollected for Benn. He's trying to find it on the back skate now. Toronto will steal. Now they'll just bank it intentionally off the defense to start again with Riley right to left. Gain the red line and send it in as the defensemen take a change for Craig Berube's squad. Toronto now down 4-1. Dallas just taking advantage of a couple power plays and some posts that weren't converted here when Toronto looked good early. Austin Matthews with the short side snipe that was absolutely gross. There's been some excellent goals in this game, but Toronto has not been able to solve anything that Dallas is throwing in their way. David Kemp. We'll go ahead and send this one in as Dumbo tries to get a poke check. Nick Robertson held against the glass. Join in with Kemp. Nick lost it. Now Wyatt Johnston will take a short flip down the ice. Settle this one again. Long one for Benoit. Picked off. Good work by Steele. It's a 2-on-1. Here's a wrister off the bar. Picked up now Lyubushkin. That's the seventh crossbar all told in this game. Picked up now Steele. Somebody lost their lumber off the lift. No penalties. We're still live. And Benoit. Settle this back down for David Kemp. Responsible forward in his own end. He gets lifted. Dallas send this one back down. Sam Steele. Big hit against the boards. Greeted there by Benoit. Toward the right side. This is picked back up now. Steele pops to his feet. Still near the right side red line. Oscar Bach now. Will be pinned by Kemp and Benoit. As this puck is just stuck there. Ozone time extended at 50 seconds here for Dallas. Still battling for the puck, but it's moving enough to not blow the play dead. 13:20 left to go in the third. Now toward the right side dot. Toronto will send it down, and they have iced it against themselves with an already tired line. So Logan Stankoff in second career, 2-goal game. We got a 2-goal game right now. It's a 4-1 lead for Dallas. And I think Toronto, even with 13-15 left in the third, probably already ran out of time the way that this game is going. Again, so many chances in the first that were near misses. The power play looked good. They hit the post 3 times in the second power play. After that, what are we going to say here for the Toronto Maple Leafs? They just haven't had those same type of chances again. As Dallas looked like they settled in, but once they did, it's been all systems go. So Wolf, now under the left side boards, John Tavares, send it back. And this will be iced against the Leafs again. I believe that's number 6. So according to Gord Miller, in the last 8 periods of action, Toronto has been outscored 11-2. So take that for what you will. A little bit of a slide for them right now. That also helps the Florida Panthers, who have been a little bit of a slide themselves. That might allow Tampa to be able to gain some entry here. Or maybe even for the Wings, if they lose, nobody else in the Atlantic gains any points. We'll have to monitor that as we go across with 12:30 left to go in the third. So the Wings do score one, but the Sharks score another. It's 4-2. They're running out of time in the third with 11:38. Right now, the Bruins up on the Bolts. Panthers are inactive tonight, but Toronto, they lose this one. They don't pick up anything. Flames, it's still 1-0 Blues with 14:11 left in the second. They'll be the one to be watching after this. Toronto try to gain the entry, look for Matthews, but Nylander gets stick lifted by Sam Steele. Matthews pass. You got Marner with Matthews, but the pass gets deflected, and Austin picks it up off the spin. Matthews twice goes back to his defense now. OEL. We'll just flip this one off the end boards. Off the side of the goal, Tanev tried to jump at it, and this one does not go in. Andre stands tall. We'll take a commercial break, and I think a slashing call will be called against the Stars when we come back.
This is my son. He's a teenager. I'm looking for a teenage boy.
Like hungry?
Yes.
Improve your family with Life 360.
My treat today.
Thank you. But I don't think they take that here.
Of course they take Discover.
It's accepted at 99% of places. 99%? I didn't know that. You're stuck in the past. Unlike me.
Do it, Brad.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places nationwide. Earn cash back at all.
This is a hot flash. This is a hot flash. But this is a not flash. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms due to menopause, Veoza is the first and only prescription treatment that directly blocks the source of hot flashes and night sweats. With 100% hormone-free Veoza, you can have fewer hot flashes and more not flashes. Veoza reduces the number and severity of hot flashes day and night. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors.
TSN is powered by FanDuel, your home for NHL same-game parlays.
Sam Steele heads the box on a slash. Tanev slid in behind it, or slashed the hands there. Not a lot to that slash either, but there wasn't a lot to the Tavares one that to the penalty in the second period. So the 5-forward group goes to work for Toronto and with 11.5 to go.
So off the slash, Matthews, Marner, Nyes, Nylander, Tavares. It is 5 forwards here on this power play. And we'll have to do the face-off again. It was dropped unfairly. Toronto's got to score here. 11:35 left to go in the third if they want to get back into this one. Again, Tavares hit a really poor game. Now he's already talking to the referee saying, hey, you're not dropping this puck correctly. Again, he's probably a little more perturbed there with his teammate now taking 2 penalties. Tavares wins it again. Now Marner here for John Tavares. He gets knocked away for a moment. It goes back to Tavares. He can't hold it. And now Colin Blackwell able to kill some time. It's a 3-on-2 shorthanded for Dallas. And Blackwell, this one gets chipped wide. Settle back down now for Willie Nylander, not Austin Matthews. Number 34 has got the first goal of the game. It's been 4 unanswered for Dallas since. Nice, and around the end boards here for Nylander, as this will be settled back down. Marner lost it. And a long flip by Beck will send this one down the ice. 10:55 left to go in the third, and the home crowd is booing the home team. 1:15 left to go in the Leafs' second power play. Tavares drop it back now for Matthews. One more touch, Nylander, right wing entry. Nylander will spin near the boards. Now to the right side, blue line, Marner. Now to Nylander, back to Mitch. Here's a slap. Saved by Ottinger. Recollected by Willie. Toward the backside, Marner just keeps it in. Picked up by Matthews and John Tavares. Matthews shoots. This one a glove save for Jake Ottinger. That was near the right dot as Austin Matthews was hunting for a second. 48 seconds left to go in the Toronto power play. So Nyes provided the screen out in front of Jake, and toward the right side dot, Matthews had to recollect that off his right skate first before he could shoot it. And that kind of stopped the one team. Maybe gave Ottinger a chance to recover as Austin Matthews, a little F-bomb to himself, was frustrated in off the bench. Again, John on here with you, following on the TSN coverage. This is an early timeout for Craig Berube. He's going to bring in that same lineup. Let them get a breath as the shots on goal are 23 apiece. Try to get them to get this all-important second goal that Toronto really needs. So again, it hasn't been a very active YouTube side. Again, maybe that a little bit of it is my fault as well because I haven't been able to be on the calls as much, but I promise you this is going to be a good week. And I think good enough as well for tomorrow for Iowa State and Kansas hoops. That's going to be on ESPN2. That's going to be some teams that are on hell of a streaks, and they're pretty good. And then I'll cover the Panthers and Red Wings on Thursday before a day off before Michigan State. So it should be a good week. Tavares wins another draw. Marner. Now for Austin Matthews near the right side dot. Marner, slap shot. This one's saved in front of a nice screen by Ottinger. Willie Nylander as Toronto is down the halfway point of the third. Just keep it in for Marner. Marner now near the bumper as ESPN has to buffer. My goodness. Apologies, guys. I'm trying to get this right back going again. So this will get cleared down. We got the feed all back now. 9:25 left to go in the third as OEL started again. Dallas kills that penalty. And this will be picked up now as Nylander tries to finish off his hit in the mix of Bobby McMahon and Max Domi. Dallas settle this one down the ice. The icing is waved off. Christopher Tanev trying to start this the other way. Good pick up here for Bobby McMahon off the spin. McMahon now for Domi. Some third line time here for Craig Berube. 8:55 left to go in this third. Dallas comfortably has the lead. They don't need to do anything crazy here as this goes toward the right side red line. OEL lost it for a moment. Chris Tanev's got to try to find it back behind the mesh. Will do so. Good work as Nick Robertson pinball pass ahead. And McMahon will give chase as it was offsides. McMahon's going to check back up. Shot board 24-23, but that does not tell the story in this game as Dallas is up 4-1. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. This is one of those times it doesn't. As this goes back toward the right side off the boards high. Camp will flip it ahead for Dewar. And this will be a hand pass call that'll blow the play dead completely. We'll take a break. 8:15 left to go in the third. Mitch Marner Off the slap shot, bounces off an eyes. Little friendly fires. We take a break.
My turn today. Thank you. I don't think they take that here. Of course they take discount. It's accepted at 99% of places. 99%? I didn't know that. You're stuck in the past. Unlike me. You look rad.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places nationwide. Earn cash back at all. When the temperature drops and winter settles in, you've got two choices. Close your eyes and think more thoughts.
Man, the Red Wings scored some goals, but the Sharks keep scoring. Jan Rutta and Sturm in the first to Foley, Granlund, Eklund. Ville Husso just got smoked in this one, 17-22. You know he's not playing. He won't be playing Friday, and he won't be playing Thursday. He won't be playing Saturday. Gergiev, not great, 21-24, but Husso's not been good at all. And the Sharks are going to take this one against the Red Wings unless they score two more goals with 5:27 left in the third. It's probably a good thing I did not cover this game because I would be anything but angry.
The ozone reduces the number and severity of hot flashes day and night. Don't use Vioza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure.
And Jake Wallman's a +3 in this game.
Increased liver blood test value.
Jump from his players. We'll go back to Mike Johnston. We saw the early moments of the first period, but since then, not so much.
First 10 minutes were really good for Toronto. Almost like the Carolina game. They got the one that they lead. They had the power play. They hit 3 posts. It could have been 2, could have been a different story. But when Toronto plays the way they are now, the games have fine margins. They're not scoring a ton. They don't have the room for off moments. And a good team like Dallas struggle with it. Now feeling more cold.
8:10 left to go in the third as we jump back into the action here. And Toronto's in danger of losing 3 in a row. Again, that would shake up a little bit in the Eastern Conference standings. Toronto's still number 1 as Florida's inactive. If Tampa doesn't pick up any points here, and Boston does, they'll move Tampa back into WC1 in the East. As a shot pad saved down by Ottinger, Ekman Larson tries to pinball this around the end boards, and Wyatt Johnston will lurk as this one gets sent back down the ice. Blown dead against Dallas, so they can't change. Go ahead and get some new lines here for Craig Berube's squad, but they got 7:38 left to score 3 goals. Just try to get something out of this game. As we're showing the first, the 3 posts that were hit, and then you got double doinks. You got Riley near the left side, chance near the right side, and off the boards. Nyes couldn't backhand. Toronto had chances in this one, and if they converted on all of those, it would still be maybe a 1 or 2 goal game the other way. As it's 4-1 Dallas, could be 5-4. It would still be a type of game where it'd be close. Dallas probably should still be ahead. As John Tavares on the backhand, probably one of the worst games I've seen him play. As this is now Nylander. He just loses it in between 3 stars. And back will go for Maverick Bork, who scored the go-ahead goal on the power play, made it 2-1. It's 4-1 now. There's 7 minutes left to go in the third. Nick Robertson, 3 wide, and can't get it to Tavares. He spins it around the inboards for Willie Nylander on his backhand. This is off the leg of Ottinger, and now Benoit almost fell down, skating backwards, so gain momentum and send it in. Miro Heiskanen. Start this again. Again, last time I watched Dallas, that was when Mason Marchment got hit in the face with a puck. Dallas was up 2-0. The Minnesota Wild, Brock Faber is also injured now. He got the game winner in OT. Right now, I'm not seeing any sort of comeback here for Toronto. Dallas, they gave up the first goal, and then after that, once they started getting their feet wasn't getting going, it's been their game. Now in toward the right side. Here's a bounce too far for McMahon, but it's not ice. Lundqvist will get this one for Essa Lindell, and he'll settle it down. They just played a very smart game here with the lead. Able to clear this one down the ice. Not try to keep things too busy here for Jake Ottinger. Dallas going to be 12-8, and they win this one against the Eastern Conference this season. So a lot of their losses essentially have come from the East. As this is Nylander. Send this one in. Matthew Nyes will get this one off the stick left. He'll spin, but he's still very contested with Miro Heiskanen. 10-4-1 is Toronto against the Eastern Conference. We're going to make it 10-5 pretty soon, by another 5 minutes. As Tanev now alongside for OEL. Christopher Tanev. Now for Austin Matthews. Matthews, little stutter step. He shot that wide, just to the right post. Willie Nylander now as Matthews tries to find the captaincy for the Leafs. Settle back down now for OEL. So they moved that alongside for John Tavares, who used to be the captaincy. They've given it to Austin Matthews over the last couple of years. I think that's probably the right call because John Tavares will be near the end of his rope unless he wants to take a lot less to stay. 4:55 left to go in the third. I'm not saying he's not a great player still, but Leafs are in a little bit of cap hell, courtesy of Kyle Dubas. I know they moved on from that sense. Shot goes wide and off the deflection. And now Kempf will try to find it in near the left side red line. 4:35 left to go in the third. There's still a lot of fans in their seats. Cost a lot of money to watch games at Scotiabank. Toward the right side, sent in by Wolf. I'll flip back here from right to left. It's Steven Lorentz. I'm not really sure about him being on the first line. Again, alongside for when you think about Florida and everything else, that makes sense. But for Paul Maurice, but not right now, especially that top line. But they're trying to get more sandpaper there. Stankoven has already got 2. We'll send this one down toward the left side dot for Jamie Benn. Took away by OEL for a moment. Now Austin Matthews, good pass out of the air. Try to spring for Mitchell Marner. Marner off the wave. Here's a touch pass, but this is blocked off by the Dallas defense. Jason Robertson, nice diving play from his knees just to clear it out. Now around for OEL. Wyatt Johnston will give chase. 3:35 left to go in this third. Ekman Larson slowly back to him. Toronto just looks like they're content with the scoreline where it is, as these forwards taking way too long of a change. Now on the backhand, Domi tries to snipe a short side left post. He missed it all. Wyatt Johnston. This will be recollected in the high slot here for Dallas. It's turned over. John Tavares. Tavares will clear. Bounces in off the defense and Niels Lundqvist. Now off the pin. Dallas will get it back down the ice. Don't think it's going to be far enough for icing. 2:55 left to go in this third. John, I'm here with you on the solo call today. Should be a busy week. I'm glad to be able to get back into the groove of things here because there's no Sharks assignments for a while. So I want to keep the pipes sharp in the freezing cold outside. I know hopefully I'll be able to talk to Cooper Hopkins soon throughout the week. And I know at least by February 1st of the Red Wings Flames, I'll be covering that one. And toward the right side, Dumba takes a hit. It rattles his face mask. As Toronto try to send it in. They're not pulling the goalie here with 2:25 left in the third as they've got it in the offensive end. Dallas try to flip this one off the glass. Settle back down for OEL. Austin Matthews is offsides. 2:15 in the third.
Look at him, streaming DirecTV without a satellite dish. Did you see how fast that guy found the game? He hardly struggled at all. Every day is a struggle for his pigeons, and he's flipping through channels faster than a falcon. You know, I dated a falcon once.
Preds are killing the Golden Knights right now, if you can believe it. It's 4-1. They're really going to fall in the power rankings. They've already lost 2 of the last 3 to both New York teams. Can't drop a game to the Nashville Predators. They're 13-22-7. Golden Knights are 29-11-3.
My treat today. Thank you. But
Should be big for the Sens if the result holds for the Red Wings because they're up 1-0 on the Islanders.
99%?
Panthers Devils still scoreless. Flyers Blue Jackets tied at 2 late in this third. Capitals take the win over the Ducks. 3-0. Avalanche already have 1-0 on the Rangers, and Utah and the Canadiens tied at 1.
This is a hot flash. This is a hot flash. But this is a not flash. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms due to menopause, Veoza is the first and only prescription treatment that directly blocks the source of hot flashes and night sweats. With 100% hormone-free Veoza, you can have fewer hot flashes and more not flashes. Veoza reduces the number and severity of hot flashes day and night. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure.
Molson Leafs Hockey on TSN. Brought to you by Molson Canadian and Molson Ultra. Official beer sponsor of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
6 goals by the Sharks. My God.
DeBoer behind the Dallas next 50.
I'm so glad I did not cover that game. I really thought about it. Mario Ferraro and assisted Billy Husso. They probably went for the net pool. Billy Husso was just 17 and 22 in this one. And Gergiev wasn't even all that solid. 24 and 27. Just got to get Talbot back in for the next. You might have to start a back-to-back. 2:05 left to go in the third as we'll get set to sell this one away and salt it away. It looks like the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to lose 3 games in a row here, as this one is starting to empty the seats for everybody at Scotiabank. And they didn't have a lot to cheer about other than Austin Matthews' short side snipe, because that was a gorgeous goal, but after that it was over. Now toward the left side, as Toronto will pull for the empty net, and maybe Dallas gets one more. This will be picked up by the Stars and sent back down the ice. And we will not get an icing as a rolling puck will be settled back down now for Mitchell Marner. John Tavares on his backhand across the Maple Leaf. This will be chopped and taken away by Thomas Harley. A little beautiful close off there as this just gets knocked from the blue line side. 1:05 thereabouts left to go in this third. 4-1 lead for Dallas. And once they got that first goal, and after a couple of the missed posts, as we've kind of documented here, that was it. Tavares, Marner, saved by Ottinger, who hold with 55 seconds left in this third.
Looks like he will get his first win against the Leafs, his first win against his good friends, and he's been pretty good. Beat early by Austin Matthews on one of the first shots he faced, and has been tidy ever since.
Dallas went February of 2020. 3-2 in Toronto, February 13. Was about a month before the season was.
So the last time Toronto beat Dallas was February of 2020 in the mix of it. This one now settled back down, or I should say the other way around, that Dallas beat Toronto this February of 2020, because Jake Ottinger is going to get his first win against the Leafs in his career. This one will go off the stick shaft, and Dallas can't clear it out. Harley now trying to fight. He takes a big hit to do so. Rolling puck just gets outside the zone. McMahon will pass it, and between his legs will shift the ice. Now Steven Lorentz off the drop. It'll be McMahon. 15 seconds left to go in the third, but the Dallas Stars are going to pick up a big 2 points in a matchup you don't see that often in between the East and the West. And this was pretty convincing. I know the shop board says otherwise, 28-23, but Dallas is going to win 4-1 as time will run out on the Toronto Maple Leafs. They'll lose 3 in a row, and the losing streak for Dallas ends at 1. So they revenge after Ottawa, and Toronto's lost 3 in a row. The only good thing for Toronto is Florida has been losing of late, so they'll stay where they are. First in the Atlantic, Dallas picks up a big 2 points, and I'll see you tomorrow for some college basketball. It'll be KU and Iowa State. Talk then.
Enjoy this one. Dallas continues to surge. Doing a good run.
4-5 on a 5-game road trip. Sheldon Keefe and the Devils coming in on Thursday night. That's our next stop on Molson Leafs Hockey. We'll have for you the coverage starting at 6:30 Eastern Time on TSN 4 in the Leafs region. Mike Johnston, Mark Matthews on the TSN Court. Thanks for tuning in. On this Tuesday, now stand by for Sports Center with Rick Schiller and Jennifer Hintz. season is tasty with BK. Having your way.
Hey, my treat today. Thank you. But I don't want to take that here. Of course they take Discover. It's accepted at 9.
This point. Looking for a little Nick Pierce pressure your own, but great go. That's a puck at the center. Pierce sends it back in. At this point, it took place. This one goes out Benn after it's played by the Blues goaltender. Speaking of, former Blues netminder, Greg Miller, you're going to be back in second intermission.
I get to be with the great Brian Leslie for the second period intermission, so stay tuned. I won't be so good, but I know Ryan will be great.
Oh, they love you in these parts. Missouri knows it.
That's so long ago. This building didn't even exist.
Won't take you too far back memory lane. Leslie DeFellon, second iteration coming up. Off the draw, Flames want one more shot. They get it.